you had a good weekend. I think the last time I did this program were looking at non-farm payrolls. Yeah, so that that event it went quite. It wasn't really that much. Yeah, so there are so many people waiting for so much profit from that event, and yeah, I think by now there are not so many disappointments. The previous months have really proved that you can't really rely on one heavy event for a mega profit, for all your profits. You can't you can't solve all your problems on just one event, though it has a potential of doing it. But yeah, this time the complaints, people who regularly call me after non-farm payrolls, they didn't really call this time. And the good thing is they normally call with when they're disappointed, which is quite good. Others call to brag how they made so much money, how they're going to go to some place and eat nice food, because they profited so much. Yeah, so this time I think, in my based on the previous interactions I've been having with so many people, I think this time it has been quite good for so many people. So we are growing out of the news trading cocoon. Yeah, so many people like trading news, and when you're a first-time trader, the first thing you learn is news will give you literally everything. Everything you're looking for, you'll get it from news, from these pictures, from these everything that happens in the world. And you always look for that high-impact news, which is normally FOMC minutes for gold and non-farm payrolls for especially charts with the US dollar within them. Yeah, but Friday was quite it was quite not so much. I think not so many people were expecting a lot from it, given the recent disappointments. But anyway, that is all good. So last week we looked at pivot points and how you can use them in your trading style, your trading strategies. And yeah, so I uploaded the pivot points indicator, and so many people downloaded it. And yeah, I think it's useful to have all of these, in your platform. I think normally I don't know if it happens in other countries, but I remember when I was in primary. In primary, if you had a pencil that those days pencils had very many types of colors. They had colors, they had cartoons, they had all that sort of thing. So when you come to class with a pencil and you're doing your work, and someone has a similar pencil, that person would feel bad. Why do we have the same pencil? Yeah, and sometimes it would lead to a fight. Yeah, those are the good days. Anything can lead to a fight. If you're if you're praying, if you're praying in class and your hands are like this, and another person's hands are like this, and then you copy them and you do this, that will normally lead to a fight. Those are very nice days. Yeah, but these days, kids are soft. They use words to harm themselves. But those days, we'd use real fists and kicks. And that was a good way of growing up. You go back home after a big fight, you're dirty. They beat you up even more. Yeah, those are some really, really nice days. That's why Uganda has really developed. Because the children of those days, they are now very strong and very hard people. But these kids that we are producing these days, maybe anyway. So why I'm telling you all that is that Forex traders normally behave in that same way. Someone is using, let's say, pivot points. You look at someone's PC, they're using pivot points, and you decide that you don't want to use pivot points because someone is using pivot points. You decide that I'm going to use price action, and another person comes using price action, and you say, no, I don't use price action, I'm not going to use. You just want to be different. You just want to be different, you want to be original, unique, whatever it is. Now that mentality strongly works against you when you're trading, because you need all these tools. You need pivots, you need the Fibonacci, you need the whole Fibonacci set. You need Yeah, another thing is, you see someone is trading maybe maybe the Nasdaq, and you feel like you don't trade Nasdaq because someone is trading Nasdaq. So you start trading German 40 because you want to be different. And so that doesn't work. It worked. It worked in primary school those days. It really, really worked. That's why many people are very, very unique today. But yeah, that was a different story. So now for Forex, if someone is doing something and it's working, copy. Yeah, copy what they're doing, and you also make money. There's no. I think here copying is something very bad in Uganda. We've been trained not to copy. But if someone is doing something and it's working, don't just copy. Ask them to teach you, and you learn it and apply it on your charts and make some profit. This whole business of blowing accounts is because you want to be as unique as possible from everyone else. You want to be unique, you want to be different, you want to be what? So you don't want to use strategies that work because other people are using them. It's that's not the way to go. Yeah. So if you want to succeed in Forex, if you want to make a lot of money, then you have to really adapt to all these things that are available and use them properly. If there are indicators, if indicators are working for someone, they can work for you. You shouldn't sit there and start saying, no, I don't use indicators. I want to stick to the old ways. I want to stick to the old ways of trading because those were the concrete ways. The old ways were you have to go to one exchange and you buy stock, and then you get a certificate, and you walk with your certificate and wait for profit. Yeah, those were the old days. Yeah, but now you just click buy and sell. Yeah, so the charts I normally look at on this program, these are international charts, Euro, USD, whatever, Dow Jones. Yeah, but we're going to start looking into our own local market. I think I've said this for quite some time. We're going to be looking into the local market, and yeah, I think after a while, we're going to have some charts to analyze every day. Yeah, charts to analyze some fundamental events. We might even have our own local economic calendar. Yeah, because in order to trade, you need to be active. You can't trade on information that doesn't change. Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, so in order to be a trader, or maybe you can be an investor. An investor doesn't really do anything. You can be an investor in real estate. You just invest and put the money there, and people will build and do whatever, and you might never even step there. Yeah, that's what an investor does. So there are two types of people. You have investors and you have traders. Now, to be a trader, you need information that regularly changes because you need to analyze on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. Then you need to get into the market very fast and get out very fast. Speed has been the number one thing that has really helped the market. So how fast can you buy and actually enter a trade, have an open position? How fast can you sell? How fast can you switch from one instrument to another? How fast can it be? Do you have to go somewhere to do it? Can you do it on your PC? Can you do it on your phone? Do you just have that button that says buy, sell, close? Now buy here, sell here, close. Yeah? Can you withdraw within 10 minutes? Can you deposit from anywhere within 10 minutes? Yeah? With an entirely computerized system. So that's where we are right now. And that's how we began this program, Trading Dawn. And we're looking at mostly these international markets. But it's very important to do our own local market. You can benefit so much from our own local stock exchanges, our own markets and regional markets. That's within East Africa, and we have Congo now. Yeah, so Congo, there are new opportunities there. A lot has been said about Congo being added to this East African community, and another way we can benefit from Congo is through these whatever financial markets that are there, we look into them and see where we can invest, how we can invest. Do they have brokers? Do they have... Yeah, so that is some good homework for you to do. You can look at what is there in Congo and how you can benefit from that now that now that we are brothers and sisters. You just have to learn some French. Yeah, that side, maybe Swahili will work, I'm not very sure, but you need to know French. You need to know some good French. So you go there and interact, and it's how you can benefit. It's quite a large country, so there must be a lot happening there, and all of it will be exposed to us to take advantage of financially and make a profit. There's no other goal other than making a profit. Yeah? These are not faith-based programs where you do things for the sake of helping and what. You have to make a profit at the end of it all. And the earlier you come to terms with that, the better it is for you, because if you're running under the poverty line, then you're very it will make sense even faster. So, okay, moving back to the original topic, copying. Copying and adapting and taking advantage of powerful tools that are there. Do not be an obstacle to yourself. Yeah, I think I read that on some of these WhatsApp statuses. There are so many things that try to motivate you, and yeah. So do not be an obstacle to yourself. I read it somewhere. Maybe it's original, but I think I've read too many of them. So do not be an obstacle to yourself. Do not think that you will not use price action because so many people use it. So you don't want to use it. You don't want to use pivot points. You don't want to use Fibonacci. You don't want to do this and that and that. You want to be a naked trader. Now naked trading has become a problem. Some people say, I don't want to be a naked trader because so and so is a naked trader. I want to now move, you want to move back in time and, do all those things. So, moving forward is in the best of your interests, especially with these markets. Over the weekend, I was doing some calculations with a gentleman. We're looking at an annual plan from March this year to March next year, progressing and seeing how much money you can make. Yeah, and we're looking at about a 5% daily profit, meaning if you have about $200 on your account, 5% is about $10, $10 every day. Yeah, so on that 10, you have to make 11 the following day because, 10.5, because the following day you'll have still 210, and on that 10 you'll have to make a 0.5. Yeah, so you just do the same thing over and over and over and over, and at the end of it all, the amounts were quite big, bigger than hundreds of thousands of dollars at the end of the year. Yeah, so those calculations were quite good. It's a trading plan. Every time you start trading, before you have a trading strategy, even if you make your plan after your strategy, you have to make sure your trading strategy moves alongside your trading plan. So your strategy will be, I'm going to open and close my trades at these particular intervals. That is your strategy. Your plan is how much money you're actually aiming for in your strategy, and then you look at all this. Can you do this for a whole year? Do you have what it takes to handle such a strategy for a whole year with all that discipline and the consistency? Yeah, so we looked at that, and if you're just making 5% every day, you'll have a very big percentage at the end of the year. Yeah, so that will make you grow, to make you grow very, very well. So we looked at those plans, and they were quite overwhelming. Yeah, when you look at the figures, they're quite overwhelming. When you look at a figure like maybe $500,000, it's quite an overwhelming figure. Yeah, if sometimes these figures, it depends. If you earn the money. Yeah, earning money means you do some work and you get paid. You might get paid a very big chunk or a very small chunk. So you might not really see the value of this money. But when it comes to trading, and you're actually going to make this money, you're actually going to put in some effort, then you'll see how big and overwhelming such a figure can be. So we looked at that trading plan, and it was quite overwhelming and very much rewarding. And when you have a trading plan, it actually gives you some inspiration, to trade every day, because you know what you're going to look for, and you know what your target is for that day. And even if your target is smaller than you can actually make, then you'll have the comfort of knowing that for a whole year you can actually achieve this, because it is quite below what I can actually make. You might be looking for a 5% when you can actually make 30%. I know a guy who has convinced me that he can make 400% every day. 400%, which is that is very good confidence, and very good. It's very good to believe in yourself. So last week we had so many events on the economic calendar. It was quite. It was a very good week. So many events, a lot of volatility. The market really moved so well. There was the ranging markets were not so many. There were many markets moving in either upward trend or downward trend, which is what we actually look for. Every time you wake up, before you start trading, you have to identify, is this market moving upwards or is it moving downwards? If it's moving sideways, then you look for another chart and see if that market is moving upwards or downwards. Then you will look for your pivot points. So we're going to just look at a few charts with just those simple principles. Is it moving upwards? Is it moving downwards? If it's moving upwards, then how far up are we going? If it's moving downwards, then how far down are we going? Just simplify life instead of looking into Elliott waves and all that stuff that is quite complicated for so many people. You can use simple strategies to achieve very big goals. Okay, so let's just first take a look at the economic calendar. We have quite a few speeches from Great Britain. The first one is in about 46 minutes. That is a speech from Dr. Catherine Mann. Okay, so this one is going to be at in about 46 minutes. So she is, she's part of the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of England, and she's a member of the Council on Foreign Relations and the American Economic Association, among others. So this speech, just looking at that description there, it has something to do with, foreign relations and the American Economic Association. So this speech will have a lot to do with many foreign activities that are affecting Britain. So the charts to expect here to have some impact. There's no limitation. Once in the description you have foreign, you have the word foreign there. That means many people are really affected by this. And so here GBP USD is a must. Then GBP with all other, all other foreign currencies. That will be quite interesting. Then at 5 minutes past 12, there is a speech from Governor Bailey, Andrew Bailey of the Bank of England. So that speech is at 5 minutes past 12, and it's high impact. This speech here of Catherine Mann, Dr. Catherine Mann. This speech is in 44 minutes, but it's medium impact. But it could easily escalate to a full bar there. So expect some volatility. Do not be blind to the volatility that would come out of that. So this is an overview of Andrew Bailey. It's going to be at 12:05, and this one is already a full bar. So some very nice volatility there from England. So every chart that has England, that has a pound within the pair, expect some volatility there. Then factory orders month on month at 5 p.m. affecting the US dollar. Okay, previous figure there is 1.4%. The consensus is negative 0.5%. Yeah, so this one is negative for the US dollar. So you can you can expect a negative impact on maybe the Euro USD. If this one is negative for the US dollar, then Euro USD will go up. So every chart that has a US dollar as the first currency in the pair will be going down, and the ones that have it as a secondary currency in the pair will be going up. That is based on these events, if they actually come out like this. Then at 5 p.m. at the same time, there's going to be another speech from Sir John Cunliffe. Yeah, he's the Deputy Governor for Financial Stability, the Bank of England. So he's also a member of the bank's financial policy and monetary policy committees. Okay. Yeah, so this speech, okay, so this speech here is going to be at 5, and the impact could also be, it could escalate from being medium impact to high impact. So do not underlook it. Then the last speech with some kind of effect is the Bank of Canada Business Outlook Survey. So this one will be a report. You can click on this link, which is there, or you can just go to the website bankofcanada.ca, and that report will be available at 5:30. You can read it, and this okay, it's a report and it's medium impact, but then it could have some good impact on this chart for this entire week. It is quite it's advantageous like that. Yeah, so the events left is a 3-month bill auction, very low impact for the US dollar at 6:30. Then the 6-month bill auction, 6:30 as well, affecting the US dollar. Then affecting China, affecting the CNY, or the Chinese currency that you have in your charts. That will be at 7 p.m. There's going to be the Qingming Festival, zero impact on the chart, and also the Tomb Sweeping Day. So it's going to be Tomb Sweeping Day, so they're going to be sweeping tombs the whole day, and that will have also a zero impact on the economy of China. So if you're trading that, expect no market impact for these two events. Okay, so that's what we have for the economic calendar. So let's just carry out that small exercise. What I've just told you, you look for the trend. Number one, you look for the trend, and then you see the direction the market is taking. So for the Euro US dollar, I'm going to use the moving averages. It is the easiest way. So moving averages, I'm going to use period. Let me reset it. So these are default values. Period 14. The method is simple and it applies to the close. And the shift is 0. There is no shift. So make it a little bit thick. So I'm going to choose the period. Let me choose period. Okay, something tight. Period 30. That is a very tight period. And I'm going to use period 80. So I'm using 30 for short term and 80 for long term. So those are our moving averages. Quite they look very nice. So determining the trend. So because blue is below this red, that means the short term is above the long term. We have upward movement, and we have a switch here showing that the short term is below the long term. So this one here has determined, it has determined our trend, our short term trend anyway. So I'm going to apply the pivot points to this one. So that is all that we're going to be doing. Just that. So one, we have the short term below the long term. So we have a downward movement. So we're going to be looking forward to breaking support levels. If we move up to a resistance, that is a very good retracement that we can get some money from. So looking at the current situation here, price opened below the pivot and it has been bearish. Yeah, so it has currently been resisted at the pivot and a very perfect break at the medium support 1, and there's some support there, the support level 1. So that's for the Euro USD. Yeah, very simple analysis. Moving averages and pivot points, nothing else. So we move on to the next chart. So here we could easily trade to the medium support level 2, or the support level 2 if we have some nice breaking taking place down there. Yeah, so that is Euro USD. USD JPY. So we had this previous upward trend. Red is above blue, which gives an upward trend. Blue came above red, which gave us some kind of a downward trend, and they crossed on Friday, and now red is above blue. So red being above blue means we're in an upward trend based on a moving average, and we're looking at breaking some resistance. It's been seriously resisted at that medium resistance 1, and we can, if it breaks it, we can easily trade to the resistance 1 and collect 35 pips. Yeah, very simple strategy. GBP USD. Okay. Yeah, so blue above red meant downward movement. Red above blue meant upward movement. So such a thing happens with ranging markets. You normally have these averages crossing themselves, but yeah, anyway, let's see what's happening here. So blue is now above red, which is an example of a downward market, and we have prices rising. So this one is a bit confusing based on this strategy, and every time you find a confusing chart, the most important thing to do in such a situation is to move to the next chart. Yeah, that is the USD CHF. Shouldn't waste time with confusing charts. Okay, so for this one, we have previously blue above red, downward movement, and now there's a cross here of red above blue, which is an example, which is giving us an upward trend. So price is being very well supported at this pivot level, and maybe, you never know, could start moving upwards. This such a chart, you just have to watch it. Keep it on your watch list and don't take it, don't just enter a trade immediately. Okay, this one is the Australian dollar versus the US dollar. Ranging market, seriously ranging market. Yeah, so this one here, move on to the next one. Okay, this is the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Red is above blue, which should be for an upward moving market. But yeah, prices are shooting downwards. Price opened above the pivot, was resisted at the medium resistance 1, broke the pivot, moved through these moving averages, and is now headed for the support level 1. Yeah, this one could most likely happen. There's about 6 pips to get there. Yeah, but there's also a major resistance line here, so this one is not a very good chart. Okay, let's move on to the next one, Euro Japan. Yeah, there's one more chart left in these major currency pairs. Okay, Euro Japan, we have blue over red, which is supposed to be sort of a selling signal, but we're in some kind of a range market here as well. Previous market was a bullish market, and this could be a reversal, or we could remain in this range for some time. So we don't really have a trend there, so we move on to GBP JPY. Okay, this one looks good. So we have the averages, red above blue. The moving average is also acting as some kind of support mechanism for the price, which looks good. And the pivot point provided proper support there for this price, which is now moving upwards, and we have the short-term average above the long-term average, and some kind of upward movement above the medium resistance 1, which is quite good. So we can have about 30 pips to the resistance 1 if the price actually moves there. This one doesn't look so bad. Looks like it's in some kind of upward trend in some kind of triangular formation, but doesn't look so bad. So those are all the major pairs. Now the first exotic pair, the Australian dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Serious range market there. Shouldn't waste time on that. Australian dollar versus the Swiss franc. Okay, this one looks somehow good. Looks like we have had a reversal there and price is now moving upwards. Yeah, very well above the pivot points, and we have a moving average cross that is happening right now on the 1 hour chart. So maybe we could take some pips maybe to the resistance 1. They are about 14 pips to the resistance 1, which is quite that's a good number of pips. Then about 28 pips to the medium resistance 2, which is also a very nice number of pips. So yeah, so trend confirmation, we have a cross happening right now and prices are above the pivot into this area of resistance. Okay, so that is Australian dollar versus the CHF, the Australian dollar versus the Japanese yen. Yeah, this one is quite, this one is quite good. We've already had the cross happening there. Yeah, the opening of the day of the market, price above the pivot and breaking the medium resistance 1, which means could probably move and get 25 pips at the resistance 1. It's a very nice possibility, very nice chart. The Australian dollar versus the New Zealand dollar. Same thing that happened on the other one is happening on this one. We already had a cross on Friday and prices are above there, but prices are now below this high point, so we might have to break some other resistance levels there. But anyway, to the resistance 1, they're about 26 pips. Not so bad. Okay, the Canadian dollar versus the Swiss franc. Looking forward to the moving averages crossing. They haven't yet crossed, but very soon they might cross, and that crossing might push these prices to the resistance 1. They're about 14 pips to resistance 1 and about 25 pips total to the medium resistance 2. Yeah, which is quite it's quite good. This one is a Canadian dollar versus the Japanese yen. Yeah, same story happening there. Prices are currently breaking the medium resistance 1. So you can look forward to the resistance 1, which is 30 pips away. Yeah, short-term average is above the long-term average. Very nice movement. A new candlestick has just opened at 11 a.m. So looks like a break. So an early break. So that's a very nice chart. So I think this is the last chart for today. Yeah, so pivot points, they really work well. This is a very simple strategy, having 2 moving averages and pivot points, just to mark out where these charts are headed. If you get a very nice looking chart based on this, then you can apply some other strategies and see how you can get some pips from a proper price movement, instead of hustling with all these other charts that are in a range market that are not really, that don't have a lot of volatility. Here, you can look at some charts that are actually trending to a certain resistance or a certain support, and you can collect some pips there in your short-term trades. You can actually scalp on a 1 hour chart or even on a 30-minute chart. Yeah? But the pivot points, they do not change the distance. It doesn't matter which time frame you're in. They are fixed. They're in fixed points that change every day. Yeah? So I put that indicator onto the Telegram group. You can just search for my name. It's my social media platform. You can search for my name, get to Telegram, and you can explore. You can use the pivot points. They work on all markets. When we start analyzing our own local markets, we're going to use pivot points for daily price movement, and yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. So yeah, so pivot points, moving averages. You've just seen a sample of how they can work for you. So moving averages are very nice to have because they show you the average price over a long period of time and over a short period of time. That is information that you cannot take for granted. It's very, very useful. And also that information coming from the pivot points, daily support and resistance levels, that is also very crucial information. So combined, it's quite, it's good. You know, you have price above the pivot, moving into the resistance area, and then you have the moving averages, short term above long term. That's a very nice combination of information that you can use to better your trades. Yeah, so thank you for watching. That's it for today. Have a good day. Goodbye.